Am I the asshole for deleting my cousin's wedding pictures that I wasn't paid for? My younger cousin's wedding was last December and she asked me to be the photographer for the wedding. I'm a semi-professional photographer. She told me what types of photos she wanted and I gave her a quote of just under 1K. Wedding happens. I take the pictures. I edit them. Then wait for payment, which we agreed I'd get in full after the wedding before sending any pictures. However, suddenly she didn't have money and wanted to set up a payment plan to pay it off in 8 months and still get the pictures now. It's not that I don't trust her, but once you start opening such doors you'll find it hard to close them. So I told her we could do the payment plan, but the photos will only be released when the full amount is paid. Didn't even add interest. She didn't respond. February rolls in and she asks to at least see samples to confirm that they were worth the price. I sent 4 pictures and she says she'll show them to her husband and get back to me. Cue silence for a week or 2 until I asked for an update and she responded saying she's still discussing it with him. I told her this was getting long and she must just start paying now, and she ignored me again. So I'd saved the photos on my roommate's flash drive temporarily while I was waiting on an actual hard drive. June came around and he texted me while I was at work saying he needed to use it and took it from my room but saw that there was still files on it. He couldn't move it to his laptop because it didn't have space, thus him needing the flash, so he was asking if he could delete the files. I saw fine and he deleted them. I still had about 20 of the photos saved on my phone from when I was choosing sending the samples. So I just explained the situation in a message to her and sent the existing photos free of charge. That was last month and I'm still getting flamed for this. She's been slandering me online and it's quite literally created a division between our families. And to the point that our mums don't talk now. I obviously feel bad but also feel like, given the circumstances, I wasn't really in the wrong, though still acknowledge that it's obviously very shitty for her that I would have wished to avoid. What do you guys think? Am I the asshole? This story seems awfully familiar. I would respond to her slamming you online by saying this is what happens when you don't pay for services rendered and post copies of any and all texts contracts. Don't do business with family. It is for this exact reason I refused to have my nephew and niece in my class when I taught. Do not mix professional and family life. It rarely works out well. Whereas I agree that you should improve your storage logistics, I think it was way obvious that your cousin wasn't going to pay for your job. Alone her attitude of let me see if they're worthy of the amount we agreed upon is typically Add up the slandering. She's in huge territory. Problem here is you're postponing doing the backup for around 6 months. But still, not the asshole. She tried to get your work for free. Refused to acknowledge her previous arrangement with you and then cried when she didn't get everything for free. Can't you send a cease and desist? Not the asshole. She played around too much and continued to drag out her responses. No payment. No photos. Simple. Family or not. She was given options. She didn't respond in a timely manner with a solution. Now she gets nothing. I don't understand why people hire others for their services if they don't even have the money. Surely everybody else got paid. I'm sure she was hoping as family you would just say F it and hand him over if she dragged long enough. They were your photos. Your cousin hadn't paid for them. You simply deleted some of your photos. Not the asshole. Not the asshole you were not paid and end of day they at least got a few pictures for free like they always intended. Your cousin sounds kinda scummy. You have a business and the agreement was she would pay you XXX amount for those pictures. She had no intention to pay you because 1. She probably overspent on the wedding and 2. A lot of people take advantage of their family. You try to work with her but if you would have gave her the pictures up front you might have seen 8 months of payment or a couple then it would have stopped. That's why they always say never to in business with family. Not the asshole. She never even paid you. I'd have deleted the rest off my phone too. You're honestly too generous. I agree with not sending the photos until you received the money. She was obviously planning on stiffing you. However, if this is how you handle your product, borrowing a flash drive to store the only copy of someone's photos, you should give up the claim to being any sort of professional photographer. Not the asshole. She didn't pay and you were generous to even send her the ones you still had on your phone. You never agreed to give your services for free. Not the asshole. She was never going to pay you. Doesn't actually matter. Not the asshole. You don't get what you don't pay for. Not the asshole. She agreed to pay, she didn't pay, then she got free photos. In reality you are not the asshole but because it was wedding photos. The family that decided you're the asshole over this will die on that hill. Not the asshole. She backed out of paying you after agreeing to. Wow. I have zero idea how anyone can blame you for this. Not the asshole. How people can says otherwise. It's a business. How long she expect anyone to wait for her? You don't pay. You don't have any rights. UWSITED 6-7 months. Enough is enough. Not the asshole. I'd say it would have been ideal if you had been able to get the photos saved, moved elsewhere, or dropped her a message to say that the files would need to be deleted soon so she had a chance to respond to you about payment, but you've explained that it wasn't possible at that time. It's a shit situation, but she still hadn't paid you or let you know what was happening and enough time had passed. Not the asshole. It seems to me that your cousin was always planning to stiff you and thought you would just accept it. Former freelance photographer here. What quality, file size, and type of photos did you take that they all fit comfortably on your buddy's flash drive? Every photo I've ever taken had to be put on a hard drive because the original images are huge to me. That lets me know your photos probably were not good quality. She also obviously sucks for not wanting to pay for them. Not the asshole. I'm sure that the rest of the vendors that provided services stuff for the wedding have already been paid. I'm a hobby photographer and still back up every raw image I take to at least 2 drives and cloud storage. You aren't semi-pro using your mate's flash drive. Not the asshole. Payment was not made after months. Cousin never got back to you about pictures being worth the price. You were even extra nice by sending him the extra 20 on your phone. I wouldn't have. Family has learned that you are not a doormat. You couldn't get a hard drive between Deck and Jun. Run us all through the semi-professional aspect of being a photographer again. Is this the reference you really want when trying to get future work? You suck. They suck. I feel sorry for your roommate.